Let's talk just a little bit about programmatic. I know that's just one piece, but it's growing bigger. What are your thoughts about establishing private networks for your brands as opposed to the open exchange opportunity? How do you see that sort of that ecosystem?
I'm a pretty big advocate, as we are as a group, on open. I think that clients justifiably have some concern about what's going on within trading desks and the fear that they don't really have control over what audiences are being aggregated through what means and with what sort of margin attached to that. And I think that the opportunity is to be as open as one can be. I talk in our group, and we therefore, and the ripples around us, about Michael Lewis's book on Flash Boys and the notion of dark pools and the openness that the IX exchange brought. I love the idea of bringing that kind of openness to trading. So I think that the more other groups are taking inventory and reselling that inventory, the more concern some clients have about, is this for me, or are you just kind of selling me the stuff that you already have? Are you looking for a solution that's in my client best interest, or are you looking for a solution that's in your best interest and then as closely matches what my needs are after you've fed yourselves? So open, I think, is the more interesting place to be, and I think the transparency is a requirement in this space. And I think that the more open and transparent we are in programmatic, the more likely that the whole automation delivery will happen.
Going to Mexico in a couple of weeks, what do you think some of the big topics are that the industry will address? There'll be some clients there, I assume, and others. But Mexico as a moment in time, what do you think some of the big issues will be talked about?
Mexico is really cool because it's kind of like back to school. It being in September, it is very much like back to school, but it feels like it kicks off the new year in a way that the school calendar does. And it's very global. So yeah, you see media owners there, you see clients there, you see agency folk. It is one of the most global of any of the events. And the conversation will be about, what are the needs that clients are facing and how are we addressing that? So there will be a lot of fairly strategic stuff. And then because Mexico is, the global version of what CES is, there's an awful lot of tech as solution. But I think that programmatic is certainly going to be a big part of it. I think that quickly we will tire of programmatic and or automatic as the be-all, end-all. They're not. They're just a means by which to unlock or unleash better storytelling. And I think you're going to start hearing more of that. I think that there's technology for technology's sake, automation for automation's sake, but all of those things aiding the ease with which a great story gets into the hands of people to whom it matters most, much better. And that ability to pinpoint the right audiences and deliver something of value, that's I think where the conversation quickly will go, which is how marketers are able to become better marketers because of the ability to deliver value.
And for marketers, they also have tools available to sort of take on more things themselves. Some companies are and some aren't. What are your thoughts about that and this sort of evolving value of the media agency versus the client?
It's so funny. Everybody always gets scared about somebody else coming in. And I think, bring them on. You have to be the best at what you do. And there's been nervousness since Google first came on the scene about frenemy, and that I think that term was even framed around Google. Google is an awesome partner, and sure, they do some things that we do too. Some clients are going to feel as though they should do some of what an agency does. The best bet is to be the best at what you do, and competition is really, really good for that. So the more we define ourselves based upon a very confined group of competitors, the less good for anybody. The more broad the competitive set, the better we become, the better for everybody. Not everybody, because some people won't prosper in that, but hopefully that won't be our problem.